things to do. And I'm only one person. It's so overwhelming. Hey! Oh, you're not Carl. Sorry. I shouldn't assume. Maybe you go by Carl. You're just not the Carl I was waiting for. We're supposed to be investigating a power drain down here. People have been reporting brownouts for a while, and Mass finally decided to follow up on it. I can't be in two places at once, and Carl isn't here, so I'm just trying to look inconspicuous. Coworker of mine on this assignment with me, clearly not taking it seriously. Not really surprising. Most folks are fine with ignoring what goes on down here. We're trying to isolate a power drain, which looks like it's the result of a large amount of power being rerouted through various subsystems. But it's kind of a two-person job. Someone needs to find the junction boxes associated with those subsystems and power them down. The other person needs to monitor the system remotely. It's pretty simple, really, and relatively safe. Only a small chance of electrocution. Well, since you're here and Carl isn't, and I really want to get this solved, I will take you up on that. What I need isn't very technical. I can talk you through it remotely. I'm gonna head to the monitoring station. The first box we're looking for is over near UC Surplus. You know, Antonio's place. I can contact you once you get there. Thanks for helping me out with this. I'm glad I can count on someone. Hey, can you hear me? I think this is where... That's it. Great job. So, that tripped the secondary breaker, and that goes to... Oh, wow, really? They wired it like that? Jeez, okay. Okay, got it. Next one is way down past Jake's, and maybe up a story or two? It's a bit of a hike. Sorry.
Sir.
The Trade Authority has access to goods and services no one else does.
next junction box. And if those squatters never cleared out, I would suggest avoiding eye contact. It should be fine. Another switch flipped, another lead to follow. And the lights in here just flickered too. The wiring is worse than I thought. I'm going to work on fixing that little issue while you find the next junction box. Looks like it's over near the Trade Authority. Okay, just find that and, maybe don't talk to anyone about it just yet. Okay, the final box I need you to deal with should be right around there. Unfortunately, I just realized you're in for a real tangle of cabling. Like 200 years of field attempts to rewire things. I tried to fix it 3 years back and was crying by the second day. Gave up on the third. Anyway, there should be a series of secondary breakers you need to deal with before you can access the junction box. I don't remember the order, but flip levers until all those circuits are powered down. Wow, you got it. Really well done. You saved me like a week of work. Why didn't you meet me at the monorail station, near where we met? Did I say thank you? Because thank you. There's no way I could have done that in a reasonable amount of time all by myself. Well, not everyone would be, and I appreciate it. Thanks to your help, I was able to trace the power drain. I know where it's coming from. Unfortunately, the source is exactly where I was afraid it was. The Trade Authority. So that's something that I'll need to deal with. That'll be fun. If you want to tag along, I certainly wouldn't complain, but if not, then this is where we part ways. So thanks to you, we've got evidence that the Trade Authority is behind the power drain being reported down here. I don't know if you ever dealt with the Trade Authority, but Zoe is intimidating. I have to go in there, but I really don't want to. You think you'd be willing to go with me? Just make sure this doesn't go badly? Thanks. That means a lot. I can do the talking, I think. Just be ready for, well, anything.
You'll have to remind me of your name, dear. I'm afraid I can't keep track of all you little worker drones.
I'm Luisa Reyes. Well, you know that, because I've been in here 3 times.
Yes, of course you are. And what was it you were accusing me of with absolutely no evidence?
The power drain is coming from your building, Zoe. You and I both know it, and now I can prove it.
I'm sorry, what?
We traced the drain, checked the grid. It led us here. You can't talk your way out of this.
I'm going to ask you to wait here a moment. I'll be right back.
Okay, just be ready for anything. I don't know if she's going to come out of there with a gun or call in mercenaries or what. I don't want this to turn out violent if we can avoid it, okay? Okay, you're probably right. Just need to breathe.
Well, Miss Reyes, I apologize for not taking this matter more seriously. I assure you I will eagerly assist in getting to the bottom of this.
No, you're not weaseling out of this. We got to the bottom of it. You are the bottom.
I appreciate your enthusiasm for your work, but I do a little more research before casting aspersions. Someone has indeed been using this location through which to route electrical power. It is not the Trade Authority. I've had my suspicions for a while, and have been keeping detailed notes, which I'm happy to share with you. For now, though, what do we do next?
Wait, what?
Oh, for heaven's sake. I presume you've been assisting Miss Reyes in tracking down this little problem. Well, clearly there's more work to be done. Why don't you continue the work you've been doing with an assurance that the Trade Authority will compensate you for your time? I'll coordinate things here with Miss Reyes. With Mast's access to the grid, we'll find out who did this soon enough. And why. Presumably, you're the one who's been doing the field work, so I believe you'll find there's another junction box out there in the well that needs your attention.
Okay, well, this is not how I saw this going. For the moment, let's assume this is all legitimate. I can sort out the details with Zoe. So why don't you go investigate the next junction box?
Why exactly are you standing here instead of assisting us? Oh, I'm not. I thought I made that clear. Someone evidently decided it was a good idea to try and frame me for whatever is going on. I would very much like to know who that is, and why they thought they could get away with it. I admit I'm also quite curious to know what they're up to. Aren't you?
The sooner you find the source of all this, the sooner it can be over.
updates for any suspicious activity. Is that clear?
And Zoe's here too, if you hadn't guessed. We've agreed to work together on this. Once you throw the switch, we can direct you to the next junction box. That's it, thanks. Let's just take a look here. Okay, you're going to want to head for box 45A. It should be near Apex Electronics.
You can't possibly be serious. Are you looking at the same diagram I am? 47B is obviously the next one. It's on the same level.
Zoe, I know how to read. Ignore her. Head for box 45A, okay? that Zoe?
Yes, fine. Let's move on.
Okay, just making sure you saw it. So, now things get interesting. I can't find the next spot on any of my current diagrams.
And I can begrudgingly confirm that she's reading them correctly. We've reached the conclusion that it must be somewhere on the surface, outside the well. Miss Reyes has suggested that this means it's somehow no longer her responsibility. I frankly don't care. I want to find this person.
And here's where I begrudgingly agree with Zoe. It's not technically my problem at this point, but I want to see where this trail leads. If you head topside, I'll pull the diagrams we'll need and contact you.
Miss Reyes is still collecting the necessary diagrams and blueprints to accurately assess the situation. Before she returns, I'm going to make you an offer. Whatever you find at the end of this path, you bring it to me first. I'll be certain that Mast gets what it needs, but I trade in valuable information. I suspect you're going to find some. I guarantee you the Trade Authority will pay well. Consider that as you head towards the residential district. We can't pinpoint the source yet, but it's somewhere over there. Must be inside that residential tower.
Yeah, that would make sense. You know, I think I remember seeing a report about power problems on one of the upper floors. I bet it's related. See if you can get up there.
Saw your ship come in. Nice run.
You know you can't give Zoe anything, don't you? So you tracked it down. You've got something to show for it? Great. I'll get this back to Mass for analysis. I'm not stupid. I know Zoe probably made you an offer. I appreciate that you didn't take it. And I'm really glad we got to work together on this. I'm really glad we worked together on this.
It's cliche, but it's true. Everything has a price. And whatever it may be, I can afford it. If you need anything else, you know where to find us.
Thanks for doing the right thing.
It's amazing what processes art.
What? Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I wasn't expecting this since Chris can't visit this year. How's Chris doing? Is he okay? You're right. I need to start trusting what he says more. It's just that he's so far away, and we don't know if he's okay. Well, there I go again. I'll read his letter and see how he's doing. Thank you so much for bringing these to me. Here, take this for your trouble.
If you've seen something interesting, let me know. What a sordid mess. We've got some other sources we've been interviewing, but I'd love to get your take on the record. So there was a mercenary company, the First, and they were involved in taking farmlands from Freestar Collective families. Extortion, death threats, murder, all of it. Is that right? I genuinely don't know how people like that can live with themselves. So all of that? Terrible. But Ron Hope, the Ron Hope, was involved with it at the highest level. All of that suffering was a plot to save Hope Tech from going under using the side effects of a fertilizer he developed. Let me be blunt. The other sources say you killed Ron Hope. Is that correct? And all that money didn't help in the end. After all of that, the future of Hope Tech is an open question. Their stock has already taken a beating. Not sure if it's going to go into freefall. Any comment? Thanks. If you listen to the news, you'll definitely hear this. And, maybe try not to ice any more CEOs. Just a thought. You talk and get paid? Really? To say you have my undivided attention is an understatement. A lot of people were there. The accounts we've got were chaotic. What was your role in that? The Vanguard was involved. That's good to know. The whole city is still on edge over the attack. We were fortunate, damn fortunate, that casualties were so low. What was it like in the thick of things? That makes what you did even more, well, amazing. It sounds like New Atlantis, heck, the whole UC, owes you a great debt. Any closing comments? I already have a good story here. That's a mouthful. A thankful you guys are around mouthful. Hey, Constellation? From all of us that live here, thanks. We use the word hero a lot in news, but you really are one. My source is back. You certainly get around. I'm surprised that branch has any customers left the number of times it's been held up. But I thought the Rangers had finally managed to get a handle on it. I heard there was a standoff. That true? I'd say I'm surprised, but this is my total lack of surprise face. What happened to the robbers? The Shaw gang? Wait, what? You cleaned them out? Jesus. I'm sorry, but I might have to dig up some witnesses to confirm that. Anyway, these things are often messy. Any customers or Galbank staff get hurt? That's really good news. Usually, well, it's a different kind of story. You were there. You were involved in resolving it. Any comment on the Freestar Rangers? Having another high-profile robbery in their own backyard is a bit of a black eye. Huh. That's really good to know. Stories like this always fire up public outrage and appetite. Thanks for the interview. And take this. If you have a news story for me, I'm very happy. I already interviewed an ex-pirate about the robbery, but she was as reliable as good coffee around here. So you were there when it went down? What were you doing there? Why do I get the feeling you're often in that situation? Tell me about this Captain Petrov. I've heard he's a bit of an eccentric. What was your impression of him? I would have loved to have seen it. I'm sure it would make a good story right there. No one seems to know exactly what was stolen, but everyone agrees it was valuable. Care to shed some light on it? Sure, right. Try again. What was stolen? I don't blame you. Last question. About, and I'm quoting, a zoo gone wild. The other source swore up and down that alien creatures got out of their cages and went on a rampage. Please, please, please tell me she was telling the truth. It's got to be some Aurora-induced hallucination. Some days, it is worth it to get out of bed. I love it. This is just a plain old good story. Check the newsfeed for it later. And here's your payment. You have another story for me? Looks like some Crimson Fleet brainiac figured out it's easier to hit stationary targets than dogfighting in the field. And you are an eyewitness with the courtesy to find us instead of being chased down. Refreshing. So what were the pirates doing there? It's not their usual MO. Bad blood between the fabled Constellation and the Crimson Fleet? Has all the markings of what we in the SSNN call a story. So what's your role in all this? Part of a tour group? Huh. I didn't realize Argos Extractors hired such capable crew. So we've covered the basics. How about any harrowing tales of daring do? How'd a bunch of miners triumph? Huh. Sounds like a good outfit. The heroic miner is a good angle. This is a good local story. Plucky miners band together and punch above their weight. If you ever get more stories like this, drop by. And take this to cover any incidentals, or other creative ways to pad out an expense report. Your stories are a big hit. Of course you are. Why wouldn't you be? I swear you're either a trouble magnet or something. So, SysDef finally, and against all odds, really triumphed against the Crimson Fleet. In their own backyard, no less. How were you involved? So what do you do for an encore? So, the Vigilance went toe-to-toe with everything the Crimson Fleet could throw at them. And somehow, almost miraculously, they captured the key. The key itself. I've confirmed that with many sources. Anything to add? Someone seriously owes you a beer. Hell, a keg. You have to feel good about how everything turned out. Commander Ikande is being hailed a hero. And SysDef's popularity is at an all-time high. Your thoughts? That's a common refrain. He was respected before this, but now? And that's all I need. You really do lead an extraordinary life. And as a, well, possibly embarrassing personal note, thank God for you. When you first walked into my office, I had no idea you would be at the center of so much. And I get the feeling you're not sharing everything. Indeed you have. I talked with the editor, and he authorized a special bonus for someone who's worked with us so long. And maybe one day, years from now, you can fill me in on the stories you didn't want broadcast. Take care, Constellation. You have that look in your eye. What's the scoop? I'm working on an investigative piece about some of the businesses in the well right now. Trying to get a handle on how things are in that part of the city. I'm not sure the story will get off the ground, though. I asked the higher-ups if I could go down there for some interviews, but they said it's too dangerous. They'd probably be all for it if David asked. Would you really? I'd owe you big time if you did. You've been a huge help on my other stories. I'm sure you'd do great. Great. I had 3 interviewees in mind. Teresa Mason, the owner of Kay's house, Henrik Zoran at Apex Electronics, and Nurse O'Shea from the medbay. You don't need to ask too many tough questions. I just want to read on how their businesses are doing, and how things are in the well. I really can't thank you enough. You have another story for me? We're short-staffed, overworked, and trying to report on a million things at once. Not to mention there's a constant battle with the powers that be to maintain our journalistic principles. So, things are just swell. Dear Lord, everyone wants to know about Baron. He's a smart guy. He cares about what he's reporting. He's way too damn cozy with the UC, and that's a problem for us staying impartial. My biggest beef with him is he's credited with everything he reports, and he doesn't lift a finger to correct that impression. Next time, then.
Everyone's welcome, so long as you keep your hands to yourself. Understand? No causing trouble in here.
Absolutely. I'm sure my mom would be proud to have the place featured in an article. What's up?
Business is steady, as usual. We don't tolerate violence or disrespect, so a lot of folks like to spend time here.
The only thing that's worrying me is a new group of customers I've seen hanging around lately. They've been watching the UC surplus store pretty closely. I have a bad feeling they might be planning something. Kay's house has a reputation as a safe place. I don't want to be associated with that kind of thing. Honestly, I'd really appreciate that. I'd feel terrible if something happened and I hadn't done anything to try to stop it. Why don't you come by when you have some spare time? And we'll talk it out.
Yeah, sure thing. I'm Teresa Mason, and this is my home. My mom's the Kay who founded Kay's house. I grew up here along with the business. My mom passed the place on to me when she decided to retire. Running it is my pride and joy. I've put everything I have into it. Same as ever. I've lived in the well my whole life, and things have never really changed.
The UC government promises to clean the place up every couple years, but there's still just as much crime and poverty as there was when I was a kid. That's why Kay's house is so important. It's the one place people in the well feel safe. Be sure to put that in the article, okay? I'm really proud of it. Great. Let me know when the article comes out, will you? I'd like to read it.
Always. Now, do you know why this place has stood for so long? I make sure everyone's...
I've got limited resources, but I try not to turn anyone away just because they're light on credits. A journalist? That's a surprise. Most people don't think anything that goes on in the well is worth writing about. I'd be happy to help if I can. Things are always rough at the med bay. I'm the closest thing to a doctor that the well has, and I can't treat everyone. The last few weeks have been especially bad. There's some kind of infection going around, and a lot of kids down here are catching it. It just breaks my heart to see. Oh, you're sweet to offer. There might be something you can do, if you're willing. Let's chat again when you have some time to spare, all right? Sure, if you'd like. My name's Talia. I was born and raised right here in the well. I've been the nurse here at the med bay for over a decade now. Once upon a time, I was a combat medic for the UC Navy. When the colony war ended, I came back to the well to put my skills to use for the people here. Things are always the same in the well. Violent and dangerous. I swear I treat more injuries here than I did when I was a Navy medic. All right, dear. You let me know if there's anything else I can do for you.
No lawyering, okay? I don't have the patience for it. Can't say I'll have what you need. But you're welcome to look. That's so. Think folks down here are too poor to afford electronics. Not the first time I heard that line. Yeah, I get that kind of attitude far too often. You find yourself with any more commentary, feel free to keep it to yourself. It's fine. Just maybe give things an extra thought before you let them roll right out of your mouth. A reporter. Fine, but I'm only talking basics. I don't like people snooping around my business. Door's still open, isn't it? That's my idea of success. Sorry if you were hoping for something more flowery. Name's Henrik. I own Apex Electronics. That's all I'm willing to say to some nosy reporter. How the hell do you think? Life's a mess down here. I'm not holding my breath for it to get any better. Great! Now why don't you help me out and buy something? I scratch your back, you scratch mine.
Another day, another shoot.
You have that look in your eye. Hey, that's great! Thanks so much. Did everything go all right? Glad to hear it. I'm looking forward to reading through your notes. I can't thank you enough for helping me out. I'll send you a copy of the story if it gets published. There's nothing like seeing your name in print. I have a feeling we'll see each other. My source is back. Hope to see you again.
Nice suit.
What was the name of that guy? The compact for the doll?
We're doing the 3 gunshots this week alone. Oh, you remembered. I'm touched, dear, really. Yes, there's absolutely something you can do to help. All the children seem to have the same stomach bug, but I'm having trouble diagnosing it. Pediatrics isn't my specialty. But one of my colleagues, Dr. Lebedev, is an expert. If I had his research notes, I'm sure I could diagnose the disease and find a treatment. He works topside at Reliant Medical. It's easy to find. It's right between Mast and Orion Tower. Dr. Lebedev is always there. I've seen an uptick in cases of sick children in the medbay recently. They all seem to be presenting the same symptoms, but I can't identify the cause. It isn't serious enough to kill them, but I haven't found an effective treatment yet. That has me worried. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'd go myself, but I can't leave the medbay unattended.
There are a few injuries that can't be addressed here. If you walk in, you will almost assuredly walk out. Welcome to Reliant.
A medical problem Talia can't solve. I never thought I'd see the day. How can I help?
We've been professional acquaintances for a long time. She's an excellent nurse. If the well didn't need her so badly, I'd have offered her a job here ages ago. Sick children. Well, we can't have that. I'd be happy to help. Let's see. A stomach bug. I've treated plenty of those. I keep extensive notes. I'm sure I have something that can help. Ah, yes, here we go. This should do the trick. I've uploaded some of my notes on common stomach issues in pediatric patients to this slate. Please, pass it on to Talia. She can keep it. And give her my best, will you? I hope everything works out for those kids. Welcome to Reliant. Take care of yourself.
limited resource. Really? Let's see. Ah, this is perfect. I knew Dr. Lebedev would have what I needed. I'll have this solved in no time with these notes for reference. Thank you so much, dear. Really. I couldn't have done this without you.
Clouds are slow, wet.
Stay as
No
long
shortage
as
of
you
hungry
like.
mouth.
Would you?
I'd really appreciate it. I saw them hanging around the UC surplus earlier today. They sure looked suspicious to me. They've been coming here regularly for the last couple weeks, and all they do is sit on the balcony and watch the UC surplus. I thought I heard them mention a robbery, but I'm not sure. They seem to know I'm onto them, so they stop talking about it when I'm around. That's not how I want this handled. Kay's place is the only safe haven in the well. I can't condone violence. If anyone's going to handle them, it should be security. But I have to be sure they're up to something before I get the authorities involved. I don't want to get anyone on security's bad side for no reason. Why don't you do a little sleuthing for me? Maybe you'll have better luck eavesdropping on them than I did. We can decide what to do once we figure out if they're really up to something. If you haven't,
I heard they had a great
I'm telling you, Bianchi, something's wrong with the boots you sold me. I wear them to the metro. Suddenly, the shuttle runs late. I buy a cup of coffee, and the barista screws up my order.
Sounds like a tough joint to
It's
crack.
like I'm walking
just
under
what they
ladders
want
with
you
a
to
broken
think.
mirror in my pocket.
You see,
And
you
the
see
only time it
security around
happens
here?
is when I'm wearing your
but-
boots.
But nothing. I say we strike while the iron's hot.
I want a damn
That green
refund.
two-shoes at Kay's place is gonna rat us out. She was giving us some serious side-eye last time we were in there. See? No time like the present. We'll do it tonight. We'll be fine, trust me. We'll be in and out in time to make last
I'm gonna
call
be a
with Jake.
big-time space pilot
We
someday.
pull this off,
Gonna have my
we'll
own
be
ship, my own rules.
don't take it personal if I don't. Damn. I was hoping I had it wrong. I guess that settles it. We have to get the authorities involved before they can go through with the robbery. You should take this straight to Officer Endler at the security office. He'll look into it. If he gives you a hard time, tell him I sent you to make the report. That'll get him on your side. Sort of. He's a regular customer, and I've reported crimes to him before. He's more fair-minded than most of the Well's security officers. Everyone's welcome, so long. Damn. You should take this straight to Op if he gives you a hard time. Thanks. Let me know when you've made the report, okay?
You don't need to wear your helmet here.
Something I can help? Well, that's what we're here for. What's going on? The UC surplus. You sure about that? It's been a long time since someone was stupid enough to rob that place. It's hard to argue with first-hand info. I guess I'll take your word for it. I'll head over there now to check it out. Those thieves won't be so cocky with security on patrol.
That was quick. How'd things go with Officer Endler? I'm glad to hear it. I'll think twice about trying anything with security in the area. Thanks for your help with this. I feel a lot better knowing security's on patrol down there.